Hey everybody, it's Andrew Kaiser with AndrewKaiser.com. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite 7 features of CSS. Now, we'll go through the order from, this is no particular order, but, I wrote it down 1 to 7. The first is going to be multiple selectors. Now, what happens when you have several different elements on your website that you want to all share a pretty standard style? You can select all of them, apply the styles to that, and then not have to repeat it every time you want a new element to have that same style. This could be good for like font colors, font sizes, background colors, all that fun stuff. The next would be the nested selection. Now basically, if you have a div that doesn't have an ID or a class attached to it in the attributes, you can simply select a, like whatever it's nested underneath. Like if it's in the header div, then you can do header space div, and then it'll only style the divs that are within the header ID div. What was that? Oh, so that's another cool thing. That'll help you keep your HTML clean, and you don't overdo it with too many names and IDs and all that stuff. So the next one would be multiple backgrounds. Now that was a CSS3 feature that was still relatively new, and it changed my life. We used to have to set up 3 different little sections, and just to get a cap for one end, a repeated background to span the entire width of the page, and then another right cap. Now with this little feature, we can do it all in one line of CSS and one element of HTML. So that's awesome. I'll give examples of all these down below in the post. Number 4 would be CSS resets. Before these came along, you had to basically fix your website in every single browser specifically. Then when you start using these, they come through and they reset all the defaults for that browser. And it's really nice, because when Internet Explorer browses or renders the HTML, they render it differently than all the other browsers do. I mean, every browser does that. But what this does is it sets everything to 0, gets rid of all the defaults, and allows you to develop your design off of the 0 defaults. And what that does is that really speeds things up when you go to make your site cross-browser compatible. There's very little hacks to do from that point looking forward. It's a lot less hectic. So definitely check those out. I use Eric Meyer's CSS Reset. Not sure if it's the best or the worst or whatever. I really like it. It's lightweight, and that's just what I use. Pseudo classes. These are nice because it makes you be able to do behavioral things without JavaScript. Like if you want to mouse over a certain element and you want that element to pop out at you, all of a sudden you just use CSS to do that now. You don't have to use JavaScript like you used to. The external style sheets, that's another genius idea, and basically that you got one place, one file, and it affects every single web page that it's included on. So make one change to one file, affect all hundreds of your files, instead of going through all hundreds of your files and editing each one individually. Definitely get that going. And then the cascading styles part, number 7, it helps keep your code clean, and it also reduces repetitive code, and it's really nice for defining font size, font colors, things like that. You can set on your body, your body tag. You define all your styles, and then all those styles will trickle down, cascade down the tree that you build when you're coding your HTML, and it'll apply to all those too. So those are pretty much the reasons I believe CSS is here to stay. So whether or not you're a beginner or an advanced CSS coder, or whatever stage in development that you are, what are some of your favorites? There's so many out there that just like all these questions that I have written down that can just be answered so simply with CSS. It's impossible to name them all in one video, especially when my battery's about to die. But anyways, I hope you guys check out the list below. Hit me up if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. AndrewKaiser.com. Peace out.